Sit down, right there, don't go nowhere, little baby gon' shake that, little baby gon' shake that, little baby gon' shake that, little baby gon' shake that. Said, yeah, I like that, bring that right here. Said, sit down, right there, don't go nowhere. Said, yeah, I like that, bring that right here. Said, sit down, right there, don't go nowhere.
Welcome back, we back. This is another reaction video. What the hell? Just Thought Lounge. Yeah. He wanted to be more than cousins. Ew. What do that mean? Yo. The life taking of Zion Foster. True crime doc.
The last message that 17-year-old Zion Foster sent before she disappeared stated that she was on her way home. The teenager told her mother and boyfriend that she was going out that night with her favorite cousin, something that she did at least twice a month. But when her mother sought him out for help finding her the next day, the cousin delivered some surprising news. That he had not seen or spoken to Zion, he said, in years. Hi there, I'm Kevin, and welcome to Just Thought Lounge. Today we're taking a look at a missing persons turned murder case. It's a story about a family and disturbing revelations about who you can trust. Let's take a look. Mother of 6, Sierra Milton, awoke on the 5th of January 2022 to find that her eldest, Zion Foster, had not returned home the night before. Zion was a 12th grader at East Detroit High School. She had only just celebrated her 17th birthday in November. Like most teenagers, Zion had experienced a rebellious streak. She had threatened to run away from home and had even done so the year before, twice. 16 years old and frustrated with her mother's rules, she had run to her grandmother's house. Convinced to return home, she remained for only a few days before leaving again. That time causing enough concern for Sierra to call the police. But it was another false alarm. The teenager was struggling with her granny's recent cancer diagnosis, as well as her own desire for independence. That January morning was different. Zion had completed her serving shift at the Detroit Wing Company the night before. She had asked permission to leave the house after returning home from work. The teenager was honest about who she would be spending time with, her favorite cousin, Jalen. Under these conditions, Sierra agreed and watched Zion walk out the door. That was shortly before 11 p.m. The next day, the 17-year-old's boyfriend, fellow high schooler Vertez Gonzalez, messaged Sierra. Had she heard from Zion because he could no longer reach her? The last text message that he received was at 12:59 a.m. It read OMW, meaning on my way. But Zion didn't make it home. Calls to her phone went straight to voicemail. Messages sent throughout the night were not being received. Finally, at 8:53 a.m., he wrote to her, "Are you alive?" Followed by, "This is the worst thing ever." Adding to the distress over Zion's absence was the response Sierra received from her cousin, Jalen Brazier. Despite what her daughter had told her, Jalen responded that he had not been with Zion the night before. He asked Sierra exactly how often had Zion claimed that she was spending time with him. Once or twice a month, she said. He messaged her back in frustration. Zion's lies about him were sneaky as hell and not safe, he said. But why lie about spending time at his house? He suggested that she was likely spending time with someone who lived near to him. Zion shared location tracking on her phone with boyfriend Vertez. This tracking had placed her just across the street from Jalen's home at 11:24 p.m. the night before. Vertez, admittedly a bit insecure in their relationship, had taken a screenshot of his girlfriend's location at exactly that time. Jalen suggested that perhaps Zion was using him as a cover story when she was in fact at a neighbor's house. She must know someone else on the street or nearby. Jalen helpfully suggested that Sierra go to the police, but he requested to be kept out of it. Vertez was not as easily persuaded. He inundated Jalen with messages. He confronted the 23-year-old with a screenshot from his phone. In response, Jalen sent back a video of his Ring camera system. There were no entries showing Zion at the house, he said. She was never there. East Point police were not inclined to take Sierra's missing persons report with any sense of urgency.
Oh my God.
Her daughter had a history of being a runaway. According to the distressed mother, officers at the station did not mince words.
The person that's over it now specifically said to us that, I'm going to be honest with you, we're taking this as she's a runaway.
Receiving little support from law enforcement, she took matters into her own hands. With the assistance of family and friends, a search effort for Zion was launched in the following days. They posted flyers, held rallies, and spoke to the media.
We need your eyes. The police need your help.
That's right.
We need your help.
In the meantime, officers were eventually sent out to speak with Jalen Brazier. Jalen, Zion's self-professed favorite cousin, was in fact first cousins with her former stepfather. That is, he was cousins with Sierra's ex-husband. At 23, he was a father to 2 young children, and he had a long-term partner, Katrina. Sierra believed that her daughter and Jalen had always been and remained close. According to Jalen, they hadn't spoken in years. They found him at home with girlfriend Katrina Smith.
How you doing? What's up? Mr. Brazier?
Yes, sir.
What's your name, ma'am? Okay. You guys know Zion?
Yes.
So, they were saying...
Jalen invited the officers in to look around the house. He told them that he had last seen his cousin nearly a year before, in May 2021. Jalen continued to explain that it was Zion's mother and her boyfriend that seemed fixated on the idea that she had been with him that night. He had offered to show his Ring camera footage to Sierra as well. When she took a look at it, the mother thought that there were gaps in entries for footage for the night of January 4th, which had obviously been deleted. East Point police found nothing suspicious in the search of the house. There were no indications that Zion had been there. They listened while Jalen explained his frustrations over being pulled into the drama caused by a 17-year-old cousin, with whom he rarely spends any time.
The times when I left, when I took her to work and we came back, went to the gas, just basically showing this girl was never in my house. So and she's known to be a runaway. Like, she's ran like 4 times, and every time she got some dude's house. Her mom knows this. Her mom's just playing it a certain way, and it's making me so fucking uncomfortable.
She's known to be a runaway?
Yes, I would assume you guys would know that. Not saying like, you're not doing your job, just assume she would tell you the damn information.
No, we know. Appreciate it. Alright, guys. Enjoy the rest of your night.
I'm trying to gauge how he's talking, but he's like, he's kind of frantic energy, but it's like when you getting accused of some shit. Oh, we're gonna see though. It's him, bro.
Jalen may have been fooling the East Point police at this stage, but not Sierra Milton. She did indeed watch to see who her daughter left with from the house, and she often greeted Jalen herself in the drive when he came by to collect her. She knew he was lying.
He told me he hadn't seen or been in contact with her for 3 years, which is impossible when you were in my driveway and gave me a hug.
Perhaps the easiest way to verify if Zion had been across the street from her cousin's house, as her location data suggested, was to check the neighbor's doorbell cameras.
Oh, they had one too?
At about 11:15 p.m. on January 4th, a white sedan, the car known to be driven by Jalen Brazier, was captured pulling into his drive. Emerging from the vehicle were two individuals, clearly seen walking into the house, one male and one female. Jalen had driven Katrina to work at just before 11 p.m. that night. She was on the midnight shift at a manufacturing job. The shift spanned from 11 p.m. to 6 a.m. The second individual who entered the house at 11:15 could not have been Katrina. Full location data would later confirm the two individuals captured entering the home, Jalen Brazier and Zion Foster. The camera did not show Zion leaving. At 1:41 a.m., the same camera from across the street captured Jalen pulling his car out of the drive and then backing it in. The trunk then faced the backyard. After a few minutes, the car drove off. It returned to the house less than 10 minutes later. Search warrants were obtained for the house and the car. Inside the house, the search was fruitless. The contents of the car were carefully itemized and examined, but there was no clear evidence indicating what had happened to Zion. That is, until law enforcement brought in the cadaver dogs. The dogs clearly indicated at the trunk of Jalen's car. On January 19th, the 23-year-old, accompanied by a friend who was a lawyer, voluntarily sat down with detectives. It was clear that he had lied about being with Zion on the night that she disappeared. Jalen came forward to offer what he claimed was a truthful version of events from that night.
I'll hear this man go.
He had picked up Zion from her home and brought her back to his place. He put his two children, boys aged 1 and 2 years old, to bed, then joined Zion downstairs in the living room.
You guys mix up your weed, you roll up, you guys start smoking, you're just watching TV, just chilling?
Yeah, she's telling me about.
Mix up your weed. Have you, I know it's illegal for y'all to smoke, but like, nigga, you ain't ever smoked before you became a cop, nigga. Mix up.
Her mom, their relationship's a lot better than was the last time she talked to us. And her boyfriend about prom, the job and everything, and how she's working on getting an apartment and everything.
Jalen said they smoked some marijuana, which appeared to make Zion very sleepy. He saw her head tilt back, as though she intended to take a nap while sitting upright on the couch. At that point, he went into the other room to pour himself a drink.
Now, you guys are just chilling, and that's all of a sudden she just blanks out right there?
When I got up to go get me something to drink,
yeah,
I came back and she was thinking she was tired and everything, and she laid her head back. So, okay, I'm let you go to sleep for a bit, whatever.
Okay.
And then about 15 to 20 minutes after that, I was like, okay, are you good? You ready to go home? And she wasn't responding or any of that.
Was her plan to go back home then?
Jalen reported that Zion's pulse was faint. Then he described her heartbeat as non-existent.
Brother, Doja doesn't
His young
do that,
cousin
brother.
had simply died on his couch, he said. Instead of contacting 911, he panicked. Not knowing how she died, he thought it would appear as though he had killed her.
Her heartbeat was getting very, very faint.
You know it's gonna appear like you took her out the game if you wait a long ass time and then you do some sneaky and delete the camera footage and then you tamper with evidence and then you go and lie to the police initially and then say yeah, she's never been here, I haven't seen her in 3 years, her mom's lying, and it's just frustrating because you do realize that those things make you look guiltier than you calling an ambulance if she is having a faint pulse, you idiot. What is wrong with this man? It's tragic.
All I smoked, all I had was weed, normal marijuana. So I freaked out. I'm like, okay, well, this looks terrible. This looks very bad. I didn't know what to do. So I took her. I put her into my trunk. And
why did you put her into the trunk? If she has a faint pulse and you don't know what to do, you don't call police or the ambulance, emergency services, and then you say, yo, let me drive her somewhere. Why the hell would you put her in the trunk unless she's deceased? Because you deceased her. What like, you didn't go over this with your lawyer? Like, what?
I put her in my trunk. Okay. And I called the police. And I took her to
See this man turn me into a monster. Hey, I'm in God mode, can't stop. I'm whipped to live as the comfort. All this pain got me feeling the comfort. See this game turn me into a monster. I'm in God mode, can't stop, can't stop. Hey, all that pain got me feeling jaded. Many to roll in the making. Still plugged into the mix, but lagging out before the update. Drop back in different times, same location.